Hey guys, how's it going? Thank you so much for checking back in on my Skillshare reviews. This is going to be episode number 2, so let's get into it. This weekend I took Vashti Harrison's class on Procreate. This was a class strictly about creating a time-lapse on Procreate and kind of telling a visual story through the creation of your vision, whatever you want to call it. So what's a little different about Vashti's version of this Procreate lesson is that she likes to add a little magic into her projects, and I thought that was really cool. She uses light differently, and light and shadows very differently from what I've seen other creators do. I thought this was really cool that Vashti did this because if you guys haven't seen my first review, if you go check out that one, that's where I learned from Andy Pizza how to kind of figure out my artistic style or my creative style. And during that process, I was really intrigued by light and shadows. So I thought, let's keep going with it. Vashti's class was super cool, and she made it really easy to understand how to use Procreate. She has a lot of tips and tricks that, you know, after maybe 3 or 4 months of me using Procreate, I didn't know about yet. And to be honest with you, I wasn't like delving that deep into Procreate, so this was a perfect way for me to get started. Vashti's class, she specifically goes through step by step how she creates her projects. And that's super helpful for me as a visual learner. Rather than someone just explaining it to me, it was nice to see her do it. So what I did for her class was I strictly just watched her class without doing anything. I just watched what she did, and then later on that day, I went back to the class and I got out my iPad with Procreate and I did it along with her. And then it was kind of fun because I could skip back and forth to certain parts that I needed more help with. The only trouble I really had with Vashti's class was some of the brushes she used I couldn't find on my version of Procreate. I just used whatever I thought closest resembled the brush she was using, and most of them I did find that she used, so it wasn't that big of a deal. And her class was only like 2 hours long. It was so quick and easy. What an amazing program in general. Procreate is just so easy to draw in, even if you're not like strictly an illustrator or, you know, don't really draw very often. There's so many useful ways to use Procreate so that it can work for you. Instead of using the little girl reference that she uses in her visual, I used a mushroom because, also check out my first review, because I really like mushrooms right now. And I don't know, mushrooms, like, there's also this magical sense, like, if you look at mushrooms, there's so many different types of mushrooms out there, and there's so many cool looking ones with very exotic colors that you probably never would have thought of. I mean, when you first get a mushroom, it's like brown, white, maybe you get a chanterelle in there that's like yellowy or orange, or you get those, you know, the really toxic ones, the orange ones, the jack-o'-lanterns. So, I don't know, I was like, let's do a mushroom, because I was itching to do a mushroom. So, I did the mushroom. I pretty much followed the rest of her recipe for Procreate and added in those magical elements, and I really like how it turned out. And take a look at it. It's definitely not centered, but that's okay. It was my first one, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So, I really suggest, if you have a Skillshare membership, go check out Vashti's class. It's a really fun way to learn Procreate, different tools on Procreate and whatnot. And yeah, I hope you guys like it. Hope to see you next week. Oh yeah, please remember to like and subscribe to me. It really helps me out with the algorithm, and hope to see you guys next week.